game, and I tip my hat to South Florida. The poor guys, their bus broke down outside of Tampa on the way, and they sat on the interstate for the better part of an hour, so they didn't get here until, it was an hour from the game. So they really couldn't take batting practice, and they jumped in the cage and swung and just kind of got loose and played. They're a really good team. Like, they're solid. You guys can tell. They ran some really good arms out there, and start to finish, good arms. They're talented. Their lineup is balanced. Those guys hung in there. We obviously threw a lot at them, and they handled it. And to win that thing late like that, it's very important for the guys to feel something like that, because up until that moment when that ball landed and poor Connor Moore kind of stumbled around at third base and he's going a mile a minute, like, until you get to that point, there were some tough innings. Obviously, you're watching the game. It was tough from inning 8, 9, 10. Whitaker pitched great. Crowell pitched great. Got out of a little mess that occurred for himself, really. And shoot, Jamie Arnold, that's a lot of work, but we're trying to just groom him. And those starts in this setting, we weren't going to let him throw a lot, but just to go warm up and prepare for a start against a team of that caliber, we were trying to give him another chance. So we weren't going to, like, extend him. I thought he did a really good job. Colt caught again, blocked, caught, everything you could ask. It's a lot of baseball he's caught. When we talk about pitching and defense will keep you in the games, and that's exactly what happened. We turned a couple nice double plays. Carry-on made some nice, routine plays, but nice plays. We picked up a bunt, threw it over there. So the defense today, combined with the pitching and the number of strikeouts, like, it held us in check until offensively we could reboot a little bit against some of their bullpen guys that were very good and find a way to get it done. And good third base coaching by Rich to continue to send Connor Moore, because he's stumbling, but you kind of have to force it a little bit there to try to put this thing away and move on. And Rich did a good job.
Comeback, extra innings win this early in the season, like how it happened, just how big is that for the guys moving forward?
Huge. And some younger guys were involved. Gunnick got an AB and got hit, and Kamaka, you guys saw him his first at bat, he hit it onto the shed in left center field. So I know they're amped up, but this is good for everybody. And to see what you have to do to play complete games and offensively now finish, that started bang bang, like, it's 2-0. And it seemed like we were in control of the game, but like I told you, they're physical and good and talented, and they have those good lefties that hung in there nicely against our left-handed arms. So to find a way to come back, the ball carry-on dumps that thing in there, you grow from that. Now, obviously, we have to figure some things out offensively, and it's a new lineup. Diamez is out for a while with his finger, so we're going to have to figure it out. There's guys playing in spots that you might not have anticipated out of the gate. But when you fight like that and you pitch like that, you'll find yourself with some opportunities.
Nander, Sunday, not the best of games, but then to deliver a moment like this, just how fulfilling is it to see that kind of work around for him?
It's good, because he's an experienced guy, and we need his experience and leadership. And you lead in different ways. There's vocal leaders, and I think the biggest concern is when we get moments to go perform and execute and lead by example, we need our older guys to do it. And he did that today, and he's had some key moments for us, like the double play stuff. He's done a nice job on those pivots at second base. They're not easy. The base hit through the middle, left-handed, and then to dump that thing in there right-handed, we needed it. And he's a talented kid, so I'm glad we were able to get him back here to start the spring. He didn't have any fall with us, so you're kind of starting from ground zero with a new player in the spring. I'm glad we did, and he played good. Played a good game.
First 4 games, lots of emotions for you. Obviously, opening day, then today a walk-off win. What is it like the first 4 games to have, all that emotion?
Well, as we've discussed, sometimes the emotion for me is more controlled when you're trying to manage the game and all of the things that are going through your head. So just being able to deliver like that, if that's an emotion, like the guys delivered and they answered in a very tough situation that felt like there was not a lot happening. And you have to create some things, and finally we did. But I have experienced a lot in these 4 games, and at TCU and JU to roll on the road for a week, play the way those guys played, they have answered and delivered, and today was kind of the cherry on that Sunday, early part of the season.
Jamie, the 3 smooth innings you got from Jamie, finally getting through the 3rd inning. I know that'd been a bit of a hurdle for him early. I guess, is he going to hopefully still throw in the weekend rotation, but there's just a chance to give him another start?
Both are correct. Yeah, we wanted him to go out and start, and it's a Wednesday game, so you are looking at this in terms of what makes the most sense today, and then what makes the most sense for the weekend. So as this game evolved, wanting to win the game at hand is important to the team, and I wanted to have us in position to win this game. And then Baumeister will throw Friday. I haven't really looked past that. I don't know the inventory of the bullpen. Jamie's going to have to throw, whether it's start or not start. The point of today was we thought it was a good matchup and a good opportunity for him to go try to just feel it and learn maybe a little bit more about how to prepare and how to execute pitches against a tough team. So he's going to pitch this weekend, start, relief. You guys have kind of sensed my philosophy on that. Every one of these outs is very, very important. So sometimes the first few aren't necessarily less or more important than the last few or the middle few, the 6th inning, the 5th. So how we use these guys is just ultimately us trying to put them in the best position to win the game.
You talked about Colton, how many innings he's had to catch. Is McGuire getting closer? I think I saw him catching some warm-up pitches tonight between innings.
Yes, it's the catching is there. We could put him in the game to catch. It's the swinging when you have the little hamate thing. It's the healing of that part of the hand and just the comfort of the torque that's delivered. And he took some good BP today, which was nice. And he's he's mentally ready. And clearly, when you go watch him catch or watch him out here take infield, outfield, he's physically, defensively, absolutely ready. It's just you have to have the offensive piece in check.
I think you tell these kids not to quit. I'm sure they tell you they're not going to quit. They're going to play as hard as they always can. But to see it happen, do you learn something? Have you learned something tonight?
Well, the expectation of this is to compete every pitch, and actually that's what I talked about today in our meeting. Big picture wise, the respect for every pitch that you compete through when you walk out here is the most important thing. So respect every single pitch from pitch 1 to tonight, what was pitch 201, and just compete every single pitch. And you have ebbs and flows of this. There were times it was not easy. The expectation is what we saw if you play it pitch by pitch and hang in there. And there's some guys now that can go watch the video and try to assess some of the things that is not going well for them offensively, how they're being pitched, some swing stuff. So we'll try to clean it up. But the expectation is that we fight like that. And the appreciation for every pitch of every one of these games has to be our ultimate concern and focus.
Being the head coach, you're looking forward at the same time as coaching at the same day. During Crowell and Whitaker and late in the game, how many pitches they threw? Is there something that you just had to go with your instinct for the game, or did you think of
I felt like when we had a chance to win a very tough game, we needed to do what we needed to do to win that game, and then look to the next one when it comes. Now, I was not going to overextend anybody by any stretch of the imagination, so they were not going to just continue to just throw, but we felt like that game was right there for us, and it wasn't easy. It turned out that it was not maybe the way we would have hoped, but man, those guys are in those roles for that reason, to evade and get us out of some stuff and give us a chance, and they did exactly that. We'll deal with Friday and Saturday when we get to Friday and Saturday.
You talked about how good of a team USF is, and in this state, every midweek it seems like you're playing a team that can go to the NCAA tournament. Just that competition throughout the whole year on the midweeks, how much better will it make the team throughout the year?
Oh, it's gonna force you to be good. You have no breathing room. You either play your game the right way and execute, or you're gonna lose. Point blank. So yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, just look at the schedule, and you sandwich the trip to Dallas and JU. Then you roll into this. That was a super regional team in 2021, correct? Yeah. So these guys have seen it, and they stood in there and battled like they'd seen it, and they do a really good job. That was a clean, good game, and you learn from it, but you better learn how to play or you're going to find yourself in some trouble.
You mentioned Diamas is going to be out for a while. Do you know an exact timetable?
I don't. That once that finger cleans up, those things, sometimes it's a feel, basically when he's capable of feeling like he can go throw and hit, and he'll be back. So I don't know. It's not like a standard injury that you have a template for. It's just one of those little things, the end of that finger, when it heals, he'll be good. But it's not going to be this weekend. It's going to be a little while.